The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Fatima Ford, and I am hosting the webinar tonight. And the subject is going to be on increasing cardiovascular function. And I can see few of the attendees are joining in now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Amanda.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi, John, Kim Bradley, and Toby.
Hello.
Hi. And I'm sure there'll be a few more people joining. So I'm just going to give a few seconds for people to join us. And thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, so I am, just to give you an idea of my background, I'm a science teacher by my first qualification, teaching science, secondary level. And I am a nutritionist, and I'm a kinesiologist. And I've been practicing with my nutrition and kinesiology for quite a while, so I'm very passionate about health and well-being throughout my life. And what I'm doing today is really sharing my ability and what I know, my knowledge with everybody to help my clients, to help my friends and the people around me to achieve their health, and also, if they want to, their wealth as well. So tonight, just wanting to see who else is joining us now. Okay, I'm just waiting for some more people to come. Okay, Amanda, are you with us? Can you hear me, Amanda? Okay,
Yeah.
Amanda, would you like to share with us your story of what some of the products you've been taking has helped you with your health issue?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, so my background is fitness and personal training and massage, and helping people recover from fibromyalgia. I myself have fibromyalgia, or I used to have fibromyalgia, and one of the main products which I've had the most success with, I found, is definitely ProArgin-9. Now, from research that I've done, there was this one article which went into depth about circulation, and that nerves and blood vessels are directly linked. And I came to the understanding from using the ProArgin that it increased my circulation dramatically. And fibromyalgia definitely stems from a circulation problem and the gut. So when the blood becomes stagnated, that's what actually causes quite a lot of pain, because there isn't any oxygen available to go into these blood vessels, and the blood vessels have nerves, so they feel pain. And when they shut down, this is when all the problems occur with the pain and fibromyalgia. So using the ProArgin-9 actually reopens up these blood vessels and gets them working again. And that's directly linked to the nitric oxide also that's in ProArgin-9. So I would say that I probably had recovered probably 60% with my fibro. But then about 2.5 years ago, I started taking ProArgin-9 and E9. And I would say pretty much now I have completely recovered. My sleep is dramatically improved. I don't really have to take sleeping tablets, medication at night anymore. Anxiety has reduced dramatically, depression. I'm able to do, quite a lot more than I would say normal people that are actually fully functioning. Exercise as well, I can exercise without getting too fatigued, and I always recover quite quick. And now I do teach people about how to manage their fibro more effectively, and also cutting out certain things in their diet, because it is linked to the gut. So you definitely need to look at the gut as much as the circulation. There are products with L-glutamine in from Synergy, and that is a key product that you will need. And I do think the E9 is fantastic for that, because it is in the powder form, and the L-glutamine is in the powder in the E9. And I do think that is the best way to get L-glutamine into the system to help you recover. And there is the link that muscles recover much quicker, and the soreness reduces dramatically when you take the amino acid L-glutamine. And people with fibromyalgia are dramatically compromised by lack of amino acids in the body. So it is a hormone problem as well. Therefore, I think that's why it affects females far more than men, because obviously we have thousands and thousands of hormones, and men, they don't have as much of a complex endocrine system. So I do believe that that is one of the reasons why women actually end up suffering from fibromyalgia more. So the combination of ProArgi-9, using the whole program of the biome kit, the magnesium's the key one, definitely need that for energy recovery, and the L-glutamine, the ProArgi-9, I would say an alkalizing, which Fatima is going to go into now, or after Toby, but alkalizing again is massive when it comes to fibro and the recovery, because acidity in the body causes a lot of problems for people with fibromyalgia.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for your your testimonial. That's brilliant. And I know when you stopped the ProArgi for a while, your fibromyalgia came back, and then you started again. And well done you for achieving good health. And would you mind just asking Toby to join us now, please, for his testimonial?
Yeah, sure. I hope that was okay. I hope you guys got something from that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Absolutely, Amanda. Thank you. And I'm sure a lot of people will find it very helpful.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Toby, and I am a therapeutic body worker. I work a lot with blood circulation and improving muscle strength. I've been using Synergy products for about a year now. First the ProArgi and the E9, which I really felt helped me with my fatigue, and it was something I could pass on to my clients. What I'd really like to share with you is how I've adapted into the biome system. This is the 21-day purification system. I first started just taking the biome for about 5 weeks, 2 sticks a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. I mainly took this because I had a really stubborn rash that was diagnosed as a buildup of yeast. I sought so many different sort of cures and potions and tricks to help relieve it, and nothing really affected it, nothing really touched it until I started taking the biome. Within the first day of taking the biome, the rash that
it's the biome DT you took,
yeah, the biome detox, yeah. So this is the biome DT, the green drink, and I found after the first day that the rash had just completely gone, and this was just quite incredible to me because I had suffered with it for over 5 years. So this just sort of encouraged me to really look at the whole program in more depth and how it could be beneficial to me. I've been on the 21-day program now for about 6 days, so I'm still in the first week. So I'm taking the ProArgi in the morning, and I'm taking the Body Prime in the evening, and I'm being very strict about the diet, which has been quite a turnaround for me in a very short amount of time. I've lost about a pound each day, so I've been on the combination of supplements and the dietary sort of advice. My mindset is better. I'm more confident, and I'm certainly a lot calmer. So for me, I am actively trying to put together a practice that helps people with insomnia. And I'm really glad that I started this program, because some of the key ingredients are going to be included in my new program of sleep recovery.
Lovely. Thank you, Toby. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate how fantastic your rash went from after taking just the one sachet of the BioMDT. That is like a miracle, really. We don't expect the products to work like that, but amazing, and good to hear how in your first week of the Purify program, you are really achieving amazing results. And as you said, it's a diet. You didn't think you'd be able to follow the diet that you did. So well done to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so I hope, I can see, by the way, quite a few more people now who joined us. So welcome everybody. And the subject I'm going to talk about, one more nugget for you tonight, is about increasing the function. How do we increase the function of the cardiovascular system? And I'm just going to really add on from what John spoke about in the first week of this series, and also what Kim Bradley talked about, alkalizing the body, and also Sue Thomas talked about a little bit with the nitric oxide, and also last night, Kat really summed it up beautifully last night. So I'm going to talk about chronic inflammation. Now, Kat last night talked about two types of inflammation in the body. She talked about acute inflammation, which is a natural response of the body to heal, and the chronic inflammation is really that causes a lot of our health issues, from diabetes to Alzheimer to cancer to, of course, heart disease. So inflammation really basically, as Kat explained last night, it is the body basic emergency response system. When the body receives an attack from outside force, whether you injure your what do you call it, the epithelial cells, and by eating refined food, sugars, contaminated food, heavy metals, whatever, the immune system tends to send waves of white blood cells to destroy the invader. And eventually, layers of clot made of cholesterol and the immune cells helps to pile up and make like a scab. And this is what actually blocks our arteries and our blood vessels. And this is where heart disease starts, like that. And if you are overweight, there are other factors, by the way, involved here, or you have a genetic predisposition, or you have high stress or a high processed food, carbohydrate diet, the impact will be even more. So the key response to the immune system alarms is the production of a chemical called C-reactive proteins. This substance is made in the liver, and it's easily picked up by the blood. Researchers have shown that the link between CRP's levels and risk of heart attack is very, very much so. So CRP is another response from the body, which is the C-reactive proteins that the body produces that are linked to heart disease. And of course, we can't just rely, by the way, on the cholesterol numbers. Now, Kat covered it beautifully last night about the HDL, the LDL, and there are a lot more factors. So here comes the nuggets, by the way, what causes really heart disease. So yes, HDL is supposed to be your good cholesterol, but really also your triglycerides. You need to keep an eye. They are more dangerous than your HDL or your LDL, as they call it. It's the LDL, because the triglycerides in the body convert into HDL and LDL. Now, as Kat last night spoke about LDL, LDL actually is the good cholesterol, because your brain, 80% of the fat in the brain is made from LDL. So when you lower it, you're going to have other impact on the body. But what is the dangerous part of the LDL, as Sue Thomas spoke about briefly in her presentation, and also Kat mentioned it yesterday, is the oxidized LDL. And that is really what causes a problem by plugging your arteries and things like that. Then we've got the CRP, which is the C-reactive proteins. We have another hormone in the body, homocysteine. When homocysteine go higher than where they should be. Homocysteine, by the way, is a good hormone in the body. We need it. We need it to do other things in the body, like glutathione. We make glutathione, which is the most important antioxidant in every cell in our body. But when it goes over the top, it needs to be controlled. What does it do, homocysteine? It destroys the collagen in the epithelial cells of our cardiovascular system. And this is where then the clot will form. Remember, the cholesterol and the white cells will go and clump and to create a scab, as it were. So there are lots of factors here involved. And then we've got fibrinogen, we've got syndrome X. Syndrome X I'll talk about in a minute, and other key markers have significant impact on our ability to prevent heart disease. So we really need to understand there is a lot here, and I hope it's not too technical here. So I'm going to talk about syndrome X a little bit here. So chronic blood sugars, high blood sugars, will do two key things in the body. Sugar inflames the lining. So here you are, that's another thing, by the way. In fact, today, if sugar would have been discovered today, it would have gone on prescription. The medical profession would have put sugar on a prescription, because it is one of the most inflammatory food we eat, whether it be from fruit, believe it or not, because if you overdo it and eat some sweet fruits, like bananas and mangoes and grapes, they are very high in sugar. So one needs to be mindful of what sort of fruits we eat and how much we eat of it as well. So as a response, arteries produce substances such as prostaglandins and cytokines that trigger spasms, endothelial sickness, and clogging up of the arteries. So that's one thing that sugar does, high blood sugar. That's one factor that it affects. Then excess sugar causes insulin spiking. That's the second point. That over time can fatigue the pancreas and cause inflammation that leads to insulin resistance. This is the new, by the way, word now, insulin resistance. It's a condition where inflamed cells can no longer accept or use insulin in our pancreas to pull the glucose from the blood and convert it to energy, resulting in syndrome X, which in brackets is like type 2 diabetes. So it can be controlled by diet. Now, also there's another factor that creates inflammation in the body, and it increases the homocysteine levels, is that eating high animal protein diet, like the Atkins diet. So, extremes, again, is just not healthy. So if you are on Atkins diet, you need to be eating a lot of green leafy vegetables to balance that buildup of the homocysteine level in the blood. And it's a marker for heart disease, much more than any other marker, than the LDL or the oxidized LDL, because the way it destroys the collagen in our blood vessels. And it can build up to dangerous levels. So we need to be mindful about how much protein we eat in our diet. So too much of any good food, not a good thing. So moderation is really the answer. Now, where was I? I think I need to move. No? Sorry about that. I'm just going silent because I've realized I didn't put my slides on. Here you go. So this is actually what then happens. This is what happens when our decreased. So we get chronic inflammation, high blood sugar, high stress, obesity, high animal protein diet, and smoking. I'm going to add one more thing here to the slide that is not written here. Our mindset is very important. Positive thinking makes us healthy. Negative thinking makes us actually sick. So we need to be really careful with that as well, how we look at life and everything else in our lives. So I'm now going to talk about diet. So if we talk about diet, if you look on the left-hand side, we've got alcohol, we've got coffee, which is full of sugar and things, and then you've got biscuits, which actually Kat covered beautifully last night. So diet high in unhealthy foods, like you can see in the picture on the left, change the pH of the body. And this is what we're talking about. If you look at the slide, at the top of the slide, sorry, about the pH scale, we need to strike a happy balance. About 7.6, I think, is a healthy. We need to be in a neutral or alkaline, more towards the alkaline end of the scale, to just achieve homeostasis, which actually Kim Bradley talked about beautifully. And the more acidic we are, it will lead to insomnia, weight gain, cardiovascular, which are the things I spoke about in the previous slide, cardiovascular dysfunction, and diabetes. Alkaline foods, such as on the right-hand side, as you can see in the slide here, green leafy vegetables are really the secret to balance our pH and bring back homeostasis. Also, reducing acidity and reducing inflammation generally makes people feel fresher, cleaner, and even feel younger. And I think this is what Toby was sharing with us a minute ago, and also what Amanda just shared with us a minute ago. By alkalizing the diet, they're feeling a lot better. It is easy to increase our intake of green leafy vegetables. So if you want to know how can I do it for my diet, because if you believe in just your diet, then you need to be mindful of, you know, what I do. I stick spinach with a bit of water, lemon juice, pineapple, tiny bit of pineapple, celery, herbs, ginger or turmeric to just change the flavor. So every day I try and help myself to drink a vegetable sort of juicing, but it's not a juice, by the way, it's a smoothie. I do not juice my fruits or vegetables, and you can eat them raw or you can eat them cooked, but just be mindful of not to eat too much cooked spinach, please, because it then becomes acidic in the body because it produces something called oxalic acid, which can be inflammatory. So it's best to keep spinach to being a raw or just slightly cooked. So because we all lead very, very busy lives, I'm going to go to the next slide now, if you just bear with me, please. So how do we alkalize our body? Now, last night, Kat mentioned the V3 system. So tonight, I'm going to talk about one of the products. So if you're rushing and you've got a busy lifestyle, the best way and the easiest way I find is to just take it out of the bottle. And we have a product called PhytoLife. Now, I'm just going to quickly talk about what's in the PhytoLife so that we know how it works really. So chlorophyll is known to be, which is the color that gives the plants the green color, is known to be the plant's food. So a glass of it may look like pond water. This is what I say to all my clients, but it is really the wonder food now for boosting health benefits. It's a dark pigment, as I said a minute ago, and it's present in algae and things like that, and it gives them that color. It is essential for the process of photosynthesis, which is how plants convert sunlight into energy that they can use. So can you see? So eating greens is going to give us more energy. And a lot of sport people, I notice, when they take this green drink, they actually feel the benefit by giving them more energy. It has a similar molecular structure to our hemoglobin, the substance that makes blood red cells, and which is responsible for transporting oxygen around the body. When diluted with water and consumed, chlorophyll can help to increase the quality and quantity of our red blood cells, improving the efficiency of oxygen transport, and as a result, giving you more energy and improving well-being. Now, my husband, by the way, hates drinking water. So how do I make him drink more water? I actually add the chlorophyll to it, and he can stomach water then. It is also said to be a powerful antioxidant. The scientists believe in its capacity to neutralize free radicals. Now, we spoke about free radicals, John did, and Kim did, and also last night, Kat did, and limit oxidative damage. Oxidative damage is really what causes our ill health. So we need to quench that by taking green vegetables. It protects against toxins and the effect of those toxins, including abnormal cell death. Has antiseptic and anti-inflammatory benefits, helps regulate bowel habits, provides a rapid method delivery of magnesium, vitamin K, vitamin C, folic acid, iron, calcium, and protein. So it's full of goodness. It's also, believe it or not, is a source of beta carotene, which in the body gets converted to vitamin A, which keeps all our wet cells wetter. You know, all the wet tissue, it keeps it wetter. And now supports the cardiovascular system because of its antioxidant properties. It helps to prevent the oxidation of LDL. You know, I talked about the oxidized LDL, which I talked about as well last night. Therefore, it lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease and related conditions. Now, also, it may reduce kidney stones. Research shows that chlorophyll, it may help protect against calcium oxalate stone disease, one variety of kidney stones. It eliminates odors, You know, so if people suffer from bad breath, or people who have colostomies or urinary disorders, it actually helps to eliminate odors like that. And it is really a brilliant, wonderful drink to take. So Kat last night mentioned something, but I'm going to make about how do you take it. If you took 1 tablespoon in a glass of water 3 times a day, it will be equivalent to eating 5 kilograms of vegetables. So I try and do my best to at least take 2 tablespoonfuls to 3 tablespoonfuls a day to do that. So that's the end of my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you everybody. I see I have got a few more attendees here who'll be listening, which is great. Now, I'd like to thank you all for listening to me tonight. And also, I'd like to just let you know, in the last few minutes left from me, to tell you about tomorrow night. We have got Julia, who is going to be joining us to talk about improving cardiovascular flow. And it will be the same time tomorrow night. Now, Julia has always been passionate about being healthy and fit, doing it through her diet. And apparently she has got a very successful business now with her Synergy business that she's been doing over the last 3 years. And she really enjoys doing that. So she will have an incredible experience with the products and to share her knowledge with us and her nuggets tomorrow night. Now, also, what I'd like to share with you, John Burgess will be holding the meeting on Sunday night. He will be doing the webinar on Sunday night. He is a member of the Leader Council with Synergy, and he really has a nice way of sharing the business opportunity with us. So if you'd like to learn more about how to have a successful business with Synergy, please join us on Sunday night at 8 o'clock to share John's 15 experience of being in the business, and it will be well worth it to do so. Now, I have another date for your diaries, which is the 9th of June. It's a Business Accelerator Training Day. It's going to be somewhere in the Midlands. And what will be happening is a training day for team members. So please invite as many of your team members to join us. And the good news, please look out to register now for this meeting on the Accelerator, on the Business Accelerator Facebook page to register for the meeting on Sunday. So I'd like to finish off by saying thank you all for attending the meeting. And I've actually got 3 minutes to go for it to be 6:30. Thank you, everybody, and good night.